Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to change the valve stem seals in a VW 1.8 or Audi 1.8 turbo, depending on what you have. So some things that you will need besides your new parts are going to be a valve spring compressor, a pick will be handy, a magnet is handy, not necessarily necessary, but handy, and some needle nose pliers, and some just regular automotive grease. Alright, so you need to first compress your spring. You just do it like you would think. Put the back side on the valve. Make sure you're not pushing on your head, and then tighten her down. It's gonna fight you a little bit at the beginning, but then it'll kind of pop and come off. And if it starts to go too far, you can stick your magnet in there as you're turning it, just to keep it, if your keepers pop out, just that way they don't fly everywhere. There we go. So you can hear that kind of pop, so then you can, it'll be a little bit easier. You just tighten her down a ways until you're past your keepers, and then let's see if we can get a good shot of this. You just take that off and put it up here. Bring it close so you can look right inside here. So then just take your magnet and stick it in there, and then take a pick and just push the keepers off the valve stem, and then like that, you can see, get the keepers to come out, and then you decompress your valve spring. Alright, so once you got that off, then you're going to need your needle nose pliers. And just pull out your retainer and your spring, and then you need to push the valve down through the guide there, and then you're just going to take your needle nose pliers and firmly kind of twist and back and forth on the valve stem seal, and just kind of work it out. You pull your old one out. See, that's really brittle. They'll rip really easily if you take your. Ouch. I don't know if it'll focus on that or not, but you can see it's really brittle and rips pretty easy. Got a whole pile of broken ones here that ripped when they came out. Alright, so then you're going to need to put your new one back in. I just take it in the needle nose pliers and really gently hold the end of it. You don't want to crush it. And then just don't drop them. Get a new one. We'll find that one later. Stick it in there onto the valve seat, or the stem guide, whatever you want to call it, and then just gently push it on there. Push back and forth on the sides, push around, make sure it locked in there and clicked in there, then push your valve back up through, put your spring and retainer back in there. And get your spring compressor and recompress the spring. You might have to compress the spring a little bit farther than you did to take the keepers out, just to give you a little more room down there. Sometimes they pop out easier than they go in, and it's easier if you compress the spring down a little farther. I think that should do it. Alright, so now take one of your keepers and your pick. Get a little bit of grease and put it on the inside of the keeper, just like that. That'll help it stick to the valve stem when you stick it back in there. And then take a little more grease and put it on the end of your pick to use it to make your keeper stick to your pick. And then you just get in there and very carefully put it back on the valve, which is sometimes easier said than done. But got that one on there. And do the same thing with your other one. And these keepers are usually kind of tapered and are kind of cone shaped, if you could think of it that way. You want the skinny part to be down with the wide part up towards the top of the head. Go. Alright, and then the hard part is done, and you just need to decompress the spring. Sometimes the retainer will kind of push one of the keepers off from the valve stem, so just kind of be careful and make sure you kind of center the retainer as best as you can when you're decompressing the spring to make sure that you get those, or make sure you hit the keepers just right so that they stay on the valve stem. And there it is, you have successfully changed a valve stem seal. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask down in the comments, and feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching.